Welcome everyone, this is Master's Joke, also Master's Joke 75 on Instagram. So we're back to the Return of the Jedi retro collection. I'm really excited about this figure. This Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, it just... Honestly, it's another figure that's blown me away. I mean, this whole wave has blown me away because it just, the nostalgic value, look, I must be getting boring now because I keep saying it. But the nostalgic value is just, it's just priceless. I absolutely love this figure. It means so much to me. The movie's amazing. You can watch at the moment. Starting this week. I mean, you know, it's May the 4th week. All this week you can watch Return of the Jedi in the cinema. So St Evanage have Return of the Jedi on all this week. So I am definitely going to go and watch it. I mean, my son's seen it before. It's my favourite movie. I remember seeing it in, where did I see it? My older brother took me to see it in, where was it? Waltham Cross, the Waltham Cross Cinema. Absolutely amazing. The weird thing is I remember it so well because I'd seen Star Wars. I don't call it A New Hope. I'd seen Star Wars. I hadn't seen Empire Strikes Back at that point, and I was so excited. I'd got the Return of the Jedi. You know the storybook, which I got from. You could buy it from your school book club. You had Chip Club and Lucky Club. You get a little leaflet once a month, and I got the Return of the Jedi, and that book just blew me away as well. So this figure means so much to me. Also because it was the second Star Wars figure that I ever had. I mentioned it before. My first ever Star Wars figure. I think I mentioned this in my nostalgic trip down memory lane Edmonton Green video. So my first ever Star Wars figure was the Attack Commander, and my older brother found it in the street when he was doing his paper round, and this was back, this was in Edmonton. This was back in the day, and he gave it to me, and I would never get rid of it. It's probably one of my most favourite Star Wars possessions that I own. First ever figure. It's loose as anything. We've been in so many adventures together. I'd never get rid of it. And my second Star Wars figure was Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. So my auntie had bought the figure for my cousin, and I think he'd had it in like 2 weeks, and I thought it was amazing. I played with it all day, and he sold it to me for 50p, which was so nice of him. Because it would have cost, because this would have probably been in 1983. This would have been in 1983, I'd say, like the end of 1983, maybe. Because literally I had no Star Wars figures at all at this point, apart from the Attack Commander. So yeah, he sold it to me for 50p, and he literally only had it for like 2 weeks. And I'd never get rid of that guy either. And I mean, this guy here, he's an original figure with repro weapons. It's an original cloak. And I picked him up. He was like £2 at Wembley Arena. It was some Comic Con, probably in the noughties, I think it was. And I remember Danny Dyer was there, signing like Football Factory stuff. And what was the other film he was in at the time? I can't remember. But yeah, Danny Dyer was there, and this was just in a box for £2. It's in brand new condition, so I picked him up. But my actual, my original Star Wars Luke that my cousin sold me for 50p back in the day, 1983, he's here, and I've been on so many adventures with him. He's worn to bits, but I love him, and I would never ever get rid of him. So normally on display he has the cloak and the weapons, and the other Luke, the other Luke who's currently wearing the cloak, he usually stands. He stands on the my little skiff, my little vintage skiff. He stands on the end of the plank. But yeah, this Luke, I would never get rid of him. It means so much to me. And yeah, big shout out to my cousin. Thanks for selling him to me, because he's my second ever Star Wars figure, and I'd never get rid of him. I absolutely love him, and I think that's why this range means so much to me. And what I am glad that they've actually released Luke in the wave, but he's so easy to pick up. I mean, when I was at the Norwich Toy Fair with Chuffy Futter, I picked this Luke Skywalker up. It was at the same time as as when I picked up the Han Solo. I can't even get him into focus. But yeah, he's almost brand new. He's got a little bit of nose rub, but he was £2. He's in great condition. So it just shows you there's the retro figures, they're not or the vintage, the original figures, they're not expensive. But yeah, I mean, I can't resist. You know, when a figure's in that good a quality, you know, that good a condition, that good a quality, I can't say no. So yeah, so that was back in Norwich with Chuffy Futter, and I picked up a couple of yeah, that was the time when I picked up a couple of Endor Rangers. But some little boy had got there before me, and he picked up about 3 or 4 of them. So, because I always pick up Endor Rangers and also Darth Vader for some reason when I go to a toy fair. Because you know, you pick them up for such good prices. Anyway, back to the retro collection. So let's just move vintage Luke out of the way. So yeah, this is the one that came from Zavi. It's in surprisingly great condition, straight as anything. Yeah, and it was in a box that fitted absolutely perfect. So. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for Zavi on that one. I mean, Zavi, it can be luck of the draw sometimes, but Zavi are a billion times better than Amazon. Let's be honest. But one of the things I noticed about the figure when I initially picked it up from Star Action Figures is the skin tone is a lot different than the original, in my opinion, and also. I don't know, the skin tone and the colour of the hair, it doesn't look like it used to look, but it still looks good. I'm really excited about this. So look, I mean, we've seen all the back, you know, you've heard my moans about how bad the quality of the card is, although the actual look of the card is top quality. I love it. I love the look. I love the green peel. I love it. But yeah, come on Hasbro, sort it out for the next release. Please sort it out. Just show a bit of respect to the original line. That's all I ask. So anyway, the only way you can open these up is as if because I've never opened up this Luke Skywalker figure, because obviously my cousin opened it up back in 1983 when I bought it. You know, when I bought it from him. You know, a couple of weeks later, and he would have got it from Tesco's in Seven Sisters, which is still there, which I picked up a lot of stuff there. But anyway, let's get this open like it's Christmas 1984. Honestly, it seems too good to open. I absolutely love this, but here we go. Right, so there's his cloak. Right, so there he is. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. It looks absolutely amazing. But the face and the skin tone, just something. Just doesn't look like it used to. But anyway, let's get it out. Let's get out of the packaging and have a closer look. Right, so here he is. Now, I love it. I do love it, and you know, the nostalgic value is, you know, priceless. But yeah. The actual facial, well, it's not so much the facial sculpt, it's the skin tone. It just doesn't look right. It looks like unlike the original. So the original was painted. So the skin tone paint was painted on to the face. And I think with the nose rub on my original, the actual plastic on the head was the colour of the hair. If you know, I think I've got it right. Whereas I think the skin tone on this retro version is the colour of the plastic on the head. So it's different, but you know, it was never going to be exactly the same. But I like it. I still like it. Now, one thing I've noticed about the hand, I don't know if you can try and focus that on the hand, is there's a bit of I don't know if you can see that, overpaint or overspray on the hand. So that's a bit disappointing. I think it looks good. I mean, one thing that I did notice is, look, I know this figure is I know this figure's from the 80s, but why has he got shoulder pads? He's got proper 80s shoulder pads, so that is interesting. But let's get the other one. I'm just going to compare him to the original. And here's the two Luke brothers together. So you've got the retro on the left and the original version on the right. Yeah, I mean, look, the original one is better, but it's not bad. I mean, the retro one's lost a little bit of, you know, definition, which, you know, like the other releases, which is, you know, we're kind of used to that. The hand of the retro one, his robotic hand, seems to be like a better shape. So hopefully he'll be able to hold either the gun or the lightsaber better than the original. That's what I'm hoping for. I also noticed that the retro one is his body's a bit more shiny, whereas the original is a bit more matte. But yeah, no, you know, it's a different figure. But I like it. I really do like this figure. I'm so glad I picked it up. I'm so glad that they released it, and I'm so glad that I got a second chance to actually open up my own one. So I'm just going to set these guys up with the capes, because that's another thing. The cape came in a separate compartment in the retro bubble. So I'm just going to take a look at that. Right, so here's the actual retro cape, and surprisingly, it's very much like the original. I'm surprised at how good it actually is. And here's an original cape, and that is not bad at all. This original cape, I mean, I lost all my accessories because I played with my Star Wars figures to death. But I picked this up at the NEC. Was it probably... I think it might have been the last one I was at. It was in a box of old battered figures. And the guy gave it to me for free in a job lot. So, I mean, that was really good. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad cape. I'm really pleased with that. So now I'm just going to set these Skywalker boys up and just compare them with their accessories. But yeah, well happy with that. Right, I've got to say, although the facial skin tone on the retro collection Luke, it's not like it was back in the day, but it's not a bad figure. I'd have to give this 10 out of 10, absolutely 10 out of 10, because I've got to add the nostalgia value on that as well. I mean, you know, the only negatives I'd say is the shoulder pads and the skin tone of the face, but it's a really good figure. The weapons, I can't really compare the weapons because I lost all my weapons for this figure, so I've only got repro on my own Luke, but I've got to say that the lightsaber is proper quality. It's proper quality on this Luke Skywalker, this retro one, and the gun's great as well. The gun's grey. My repro on my original version is black, and the lightsaber's proper green. I love it. I think it's great. 10 out of 10 any day of the week. Highly recommended. You should definitely pick this up. Honestly, I'm so happy with this, and I'm so glad I picked up a couple of these. $13.99. Let your eyes be your guide. I think it's worth it. If you are going to pick these up, you've got to open them up. You've got to open them up to appreciate and to enjoy them, just like back in the day. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It lets me know you care, and it also helps the channel. And I will see you in the next one.